I'd like you all to meet a new student. Maggie, can you come up here, please?
How can you move us across the country?
What's wrong with this house?
There's a toilet in the kitchen.
Maggie, what's under your hands?
Those are the sparkles from the water music.
Have you heard of something called synesthesia?
I don't think it's normal.
Everyone's got something. You can see and hear and feel colors. That really is cool.
What do you think you're really seeing?
This is one righteous toilet.
I think I might be seeing what they're feeling on the inside.
This is clean, right?
How old were you the first time you fell in love?
Guess I was 4.
Who were you in love with?
Bugs Bunny.
Let me in! Mommy, Evie won't let me in the bathroom!
Cute PJs.
All you ever say is Travis this and Travis that.
What are you doing tonight?
Are you asking me out?
Would you please stop standing like that?
Depends. Can you pop my pelvis back in?
No.
If you want my advice, don't be in a hurry to grow up. It's overrated.
Every time you hire me, you get a free gift.
You track dog poop in our house.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are so excited to have with us today the director, writer, and all-around good artiste for the new film Magnetosphere, due out on July 22nd. Nicola Rose. Nicola, say hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes. And this time we're talking about your new film, Magnetosphere, which follows a 13-year-old Maggie, 13 and a half years old if you ask her.
Yes,
who
that's important.
Deals with synesthesia. And I thought that was so interesting because one of my co-hosts on our podcast, Gina, she's a doctor. She's a doctor. I don't know how we got a doctor on our podcast, but we did. She also has synesthesia. So we did an interview with Robert Schwartzman, the talented musician and director from Rooney, and she was talking to him about how Rooney's music is like a ocean green or like an ocean blue.
Mm-hmm.
And so when in the movie, when you were visualizing what the synesthesia would look like, how much input came from people who actually have it?
I had a process that I went through to make this movie and make it be authentic. And I will go back in a second to why I say authentic and not accurate, because there is no such thing with synesthesia. But I talked to about 70 different people initially with synesthesia, and their experiences were fascinating. I obviously could not use them all, or even most of them. And I kind of ended up narrowing it down to about 4 or 5 people whose experiences kind of either they were the most cinematic, visual, auditory, whatever, or, they were just the most interesting in some other way. And these people hewed the most closely to Maggie's experiences in the film. You can't get it right because synesthesia is so personal to each person who has it, and it's just so completely like it's individual. It doesn't occur the same way in any two brains. And what I found that's fascinating is so every single experience that she has in that movie, yes, it's through my writing and through my eyes and whatever, but I tried to keep it extremely accurate to what a person told me. In other words, every experience that she has in this movie is something that somebody actually experienced from synesthesia. But other synesthetes, that's people with synesthesia are synesthetes, other synesthetes will see a given scene, and I can't tell you how many times this has happened. They'll be like, well, that's bizarre. Like, I didn't understand that. What was that? I'll be like, I don't know what to tell you. Another person with synesthesia told me about that, and said I had depicted it accurately. I only have their experiences to go on. I do not have synesthesia myself, but my claim to that kind of neurodiversity is that I have other things, but I had synesthesia as a young child, and it was actually through interviewing these people that I realized, oh yeah, so that's what that was. It kind of came to me. I didn't go in thinking this is something I had. I went in thinking, okay, I need to read every book out there and meet with every synesthete out there who's willing to talk to me. Does that answer your question? I feel I've gone way off into other territory
It
here.
absolutely answered the question perfectly.
Cool.
Because honestly, that's what I was trying to get to was at the end of the day, why was that a good decision? And you sort of answered that as well. So you knocked out two
Oh,
or
well, I
three
was going to
birds.
say it can never be accurate. It can only be authentic. And I like to think, I hope, and I'm certainly about to hear a lot about it. I hope that it's authentic. And, you're going to get like no two people are going to agree. It's only going to feel right or not. But as I've said to several journalists over the past several days, you can't get it right. And I was not attempting to get it right. I was only attempting to not make it up. This is not something that you can just willy-nilly say, oh, I think I'll make up what this is like and put a lot of sparkles. Um, and fortunately, people have seen the trailer mainly. Some people have gone to film festivals, have seen the film, but from people seeing the trailer, the comments seem to indicate, oh my God, yeah, my brother has this, or like I used to have, people seem to it seems to feel real to people, despite, the obvious stylization and the obvious shortcuts that you do to communicate things on screen.
Yeah, I think that's important. Is that you tried your very best to make it accurate, and again, it's really hard to do that,
No, you can't.
but you
I
did the
mean,
best you could.
yeah,
And
you have
one of
to
the
do your
things
best.
that so this film does take place in Canada, right?
Yeah, it takes place in Ontario.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was an interesting choice too. I'm like, Canada. Hmm.
Why is this? The reason is that it was filmed in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada, which is exactly the town that it takes place in. And I don't suppose it had to, but I don't know. They call it the Sioux. I was in the Sioux for filming, and I went there for location scouting. It was where one of our producers was located. And I don't know, I was looking around at it and just felt like, yeah, this feels like the sort of place where you would grow up. And it kind of felt right. The film is Canadian. I am not, but the film is. And we could have like said it elsewhere. It didn't too much matter, but it had that town has the right feel. It's over there by a couple of the Great Lakes. Lake Superior is actually the first thing you see in the movie. I think that's Lake Superior. That is Lake Superior. I mean, who could know? But it actually is. And yeah, it just Sault Ste. Marie, felt like a good location for this. I liked it.
I wanted to ask you about because of the whole way the film was shot and everything like that. You were able to get a very good Canadian boy to play the weirdest character in the movie, one Mr. Colin Mockery.
Yes.
How did you get that
Um,
to happen? Because he's a riot.
he is a riot. And the story is, and I do not recommend that anyone ever do this. I was not getting any traction with his rep at the time. That's pretty typical for anybody who's not offering a super high paying job. Um, and I wasn't trying to present it as a super high paying job because it wasn't, but I was just getting absolutely no response. And I finally said, okay, you know what? As it happened at that time in 2022, uh, Colin was in New York City where I lived at the time um, doing a show, doing like an off-Broadway tour of his Hiprov show, which is improvisational comedy combined with hypnosis of all things. The hypnotist Assad Meki does the hypnosis and Colin does the improv, and they're probably still on tour as I speak. I think they're perpetually on tour. Um, and so I finally, well, I was surprised to find the first time I went in person, I was surprised to find, oh my gosh, I could actually like just go downstairs and meet this man and talk to him. So uh, I did the best as, speaking of doing one's best, I did my best given that I had been an admirer and deep fan of his work for I think well since I was 11. I mean forever. I went down and shook his hand a little too long and said something like thank you. And from there I got to better I got to more helpful words that basically communicated. I have this script I want to give you, and you know, I do not recommend this. As a good film producer told me, do not do that. That's exactly what he said. Do not go there and shove a script into his hand. He's going to be tired after performing. It's the last thing he wants, and I'm certain that was all true. But somehow it worked out, and he was then my connection to Patrick McKenna, who plays the father, and who, at least in Canada, is a superstar, and well deservedly because he's another of the funniest people on earth. And of course to Deborah McGrath, who is Colin's wife and who plays the art teacher, Miss Deering in the movie.
Probably the best character in
And
the
so
movie, by the way.
yeah, I love that character. And it's if you were to meet her, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she's kind of just playing herself because she really is that empathic, and she really is that aware of everything that's going on around her with everyone that's around her at all times. It's a little scary in a nice way.
I love that. I love that. Once again, we're here with puppets. What's going on there?
Yeah.
More puppets.
I can't see. I don't know, man. I can't seem to avoid them. I can't seem to get them out of my life. It's not like I'm trying to keep them around me, but I was I performed as a puppeteer professionally for about 7 or 8 years, and I just think they're kind of inherently silly. Like there is something so silly about putting dolls on your hand and making them speak and move around, and I don't know. And so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say sock puppets have a role in this movie. I will leave it at that. And it's not a matter of this being amazing puppetry. It's actually supposed to be the opposite. And, this will make sense to anyone who sees the movie what the sock puppets are there for. But yeah, I can't really seem to escape them. And credit is due here to our prop maker, Eric Fick, who also made the Captain Cassiopeia doll, and who that's not a Barbie. You cannot do that. And he made the sock puppets, like the really elaborate sock puppets that one sees that are like, they do a production of Pirates of Penzance, which is in the public domain, in the movie. And the sock puppets, there are sock puppets that are pirates. There are sock puppets that are like maidens from the era. He really did a much more elaborate job than people, I think, would realize at first glance. Like he went to town on those guys.
I noticed the green sock. I was like, this is silly. It's
Oh, it
very
is.
silly. I was okay with it because it was just funny, but like it was very
What did you notice?
one of them was like totally green, like a dragon or something.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. There's one that's like wearing a green costume. I mean, I will say, and I think it is no spoiler to say they are supposed to be stupid.
Yeah,
So,
it was funny though. I was laughing. So anytime we have a guest on for the first time, and it's their first time here, we like to
yeah.
ask you two questions. First one's pretty easy. Who are some people that inspire you?
Um, okay. Director wise or
And
in
you get to
general?
pick in
Oh,
general.
okay. So director wise, the first person that comes to mind is Wes Anderson. Um, uh, let's see. Writer-wise, the first person that comes to mind, another of my heroes that I was also lucky enough to meet within the past few years, is a children's book author named Daniel Pinkwater. Let's see. Uh, Music-wise, and I have a hellishly long playlist of stuff that kind of inspired Magnetosphere, and a lot of it is you might not really guess this from what ended up being kind of the soundtrack of the film, but a lot of it is Studio Ghibli
Hmm.
soundtracks from Joe Hisaishi. And so Miyazaki and his movies have been also an inspiration. Um, and I'm trying to think in different categories. Like my favorite composer, who did not necessarily inspire this film, but who I think is always with me in some mental way, was an Australian American composer named Percy Granger, who lived well into the 20th century and died in the early 60s. Um, and it's my hope that one day, because that music is not going to be in the public domain for ages, because it takes 100 years to be in the worldwide public domain. So it wouldn't be till 2061.
Oof.
Yeah. So both Granger and Benjamin Britten, who has been dead even a shorter time, have specific pieces that I am just holding on and waiting to use in movies. My last movie, Goodbye Petrushka, it's even in the title. Petrushka is a wonderful piece. It's a ballet suite by Igor Stravinsky, who has been dead only since 1975, I want to say. So there is not one single bit of Stravinsky in the film. There can't be. We'd have to pay like that entire film's budget would have had to have been paid to use like one 10 seconds of Petrushka. So composer wise, there are a lot who inspire me whose work I can't actually use in my films, which is kind of ironic. So they all died too recently, but the composers whose there are a few composers actually whose work you do hear in this film and they inspire me a lot, and their specific pieces inspire me a lot. And one is Gustav Holst, You Hear the Planets, which works well for Magnetosphere, which has a big astronomy theme. And you also hear our fantastic composer, Matthew Reed, did a wonderful riff also on the Flower Duet from Lacme, which is by the composer Leo Delibes. And I could go on and on and on about composers, and I have a feeling this is probably not super interesting for the podcast.
Nah, it answers my question, and that's really the core of it.
Yeah.
Now, our second question.
Oh, and Colin Mockery. I'm sorry, you asked my inspirations. That's where I was going with all of that.
Oh, and Colin Mockery. Okay. And the second question is very simple. You have two movies you can watch for the rest of your life. What two and why?
Moonrise Kingdom and Amélie. And why?
Yeah,
Because I will always notice something that I missed the last time.
I love that. I love that. It's funny. I mentioned our co-host Gina, who is a synesthesia person. That's her favorite movie of all time, Amélie. So
But Amélie, yeah, I don't blame her.
so she'll be
She's
very
different.
happy to hear that, and that you
Yeah.
made a movie about something that she experiences on the daily.
We got to meet.
I have not asked her what color I am. I assume it's probably a red.
It would be different for literally that's the thing though, is like one person's going to see you as orange and another person's going to see you as like olive green, I mean, if they even see auras around people, which a lot of synesthetes don't, a lot do. There's a scene in Magnetosphere where Maggie and her friend Wendy argue about what colors the days of the week are. And that's a scene that a lot of synesthetes have come back to me about, saying like, I've had that conversation. We've argued about that.
Yeah, but we answered this question in the 90s. The Cure told us Tuesday's gray and Wednesday too.
Oh man, and the movie's set in the 90s, and I didn't even, you know what, you probably can't even mention The Cure without paying more than Magnetosphere's budget, so it's cool, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay that I did
But
not know that.
that made me laugh. I was like, no, it's obvious. Tuesday's gray, Wednesday too. Come on.
Oh man, I could have had her say that and everybody would have known except me what it was a reference to, but okay. Let
You don't know
bygones be
Friday I'm
bygones.
in love? What are you doing?
Friday I'm in love, of course, but it's not a color.
Love is a color. Just depends on who you ask.
But what color? What color is love?
Depends on who you ask.
What's that?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on that. Well, that's my point. It always depends on is it yellow ochre or is it more like a cerulean? You can tell I spent a lot of time with Crayola crayons
It's
as
a
a child.
vermilion, obviously. Come on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I believe that. That feels right.
It feels
I don't
right.
have
Yeah.
synesthesia though. I'm not the first. It does kind of feel right.
Right? So the film comes out next week, literally a week from today on the 22nd. Is it only
July
available digital?
22nd by the time. Sorry?
Is it only digital?
Yes, it's going to be on basically every major VOD platform there is. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's going to be on Apple TV. I am literally blanking on every other platform that it'll be on, but it will be pretty much anywhere you look.
I love that. And I would say, guys, it's worth the like $6-7 that it's gonna cost. I mean, she has to pay Tara Strong's salary, so
Yeah, with that, there's that too.
That's expensive. It costs a lot of money to get Tara Strong in the movie.
She's just the most wonderful person too. She's like this sort of beam of bubbly light. It's very hard to describe her, but she's like if her character in the movie had the same perkiness but were actually a force for good instead of evil, that would be her. She's just playing the evil version of herself.
Well, and she's done that before, and it's funny. I met
Oh
her at
yeah.
a con here in Columbus a few years ago. I
Oh
I
cool.
don't get into people's lines. I just as a press, I'm like, hey, I know you. I want to talk to you. Can I do that? I
Yeah.
don't like it when you do that, but maybe they should open up their communication lines a little bit better to allow me to do that. But she
Mm.
was like, "Oh yeah, of course." So I spent like 5-10 minutes chatting with her. She's very nice. So
She's very approachable.
very nice person. And it was funny because she does voices out of nowhere for no reason. She'll just start doing
Yeah.
different characters. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do bubbles, but thanks. Thank you.
No.
Thank you for that. I
No, I
needed a
think it's
Powerpuff
it's
Girls impersonation in my life right now. Perfect. But
everybody does.
you can hear a lot of her characters in her character in this. You're
Her
like,
natural
is
voice.
that Harley Quinn? You can
Yeah.
hear like little bits of it.
Well, a lot of them are not so far off from her, which is part of why she works so well as all those voices. Everything's being channeled. It's like all the best actors, like everything is channeled through them. Everything's channeled through who they are. A lot of people have talked about the dad character being, oh, I wish I had a dad like that, or else they'll just say he's silly and goofy. Either way, it's all channeled very much through Patrick McKenna himself. People are not going to realize how much. It's just like him being a little more manic than he normally would be.
I was gonna say he's kind of out of his mind.
Oh, he is. No,
Especially
he
toward
is.
the end
He
of the movie after certain things start occurring with frequency,
oh, he
he just
loses it.
sort of loses his mind and his eyes turn all pink and red. Oh, it's so funny. And I love there was a theme in here that I did not expect. And I thought it was really, really delicately handled between Maggie and Wendy. I thought that
Wendy.
that was handled really nicely.
Thank you. I've gotten some good compliments on that. And uh it's I suppose I'm not spoiling. In fact, it's probably good for me to say there is a very, very gently handled, because it is a family film, very gently handled LGBTQ theme between the two girls, and it never goes beyond it. They don't kiss, they don't whatever, but it's just it has to do with feelings and stepping into those first like muddy waters of adolescence and being like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it was such a touchy thing because here you're dealing with actual teenagers, and it's awkward for everybody involved. No matter how gentle the whole thing actually is. Um, I will just say this much, we had a screening in New York City with about 150, I want to say seventh graders, sixth and seventh grade. So just imagine you're in this auditorium. We were at the JCC, and big big auditorium, but it was pretty much filled. 150, 200 of these kids. And when we got to that point in the movie, they just like, and this was a positive reaction in this particular case. They just like blew the roof off the place. You could tell, oh, this hit a nerve for everybody. Everybody in here is questioning in some way, It's like,
I love that.
yeah, everybody in there had felt something that this girl was feeling.
And it's such a sweet
Um,
moment. It really is just a sweet little moment between those two characters. And there's nothing,
Thank you. They're such good
egregious about it.
actresses.
They're very good.
No,
Yeah. No, there's nothing
they're very
egregious
good.
about it. It's just really well handled. And I think that speaks to you as a director and your ability to handle that situation really well. And a writer, because
Thank
obviously the
you.
writing had to be very gentle there.
Yeah, it got massaged more than a few times. Just because, there are like lines you realize as you're getting closer to filming, you're like, I can't cross that line. And especially you're dealing with minors, you're dealing with people who have their own set of feelings to deal with, and everything is extremely real to them. It seems as though you enjoyed it. So hey.
No, I did end up enjoying the movie. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I went into it, I'm like, this is going to be weird. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, it is a little weird.
No, but it's weird in the right way. It's quirky. It's very fun. Like you can take everybody to see this. Like
Yeah.
a
And that was the
9-year-old
goal.
would enjoy this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think you want to go much below like 8 or 7, but yeah, I feel like that was a big part of the goal and it was achieved. And yes, there are moments that are a little PG, but I don't think it ever gets up to PG-13 like ever.
No, I especially most of the time you get to PG-13 with language and
There's
there's
mild language in this film, but like I don't think it would have been enough.
no. I mean the raciest scene is Colin Mockery standing on a couch and certainly that seems funny.
Now that I did not see coming. I just said, okay, I need you in a sexy pose, I think is what I said. I that is I got to say I got to say that to him. That was one of my finer moments as a director.
I need you in a sexy pose.
Well, I mean,
That's funny.
gotta go for what you need as a director and in your scene, and that was that day at work, and it was a good day.
That's funny. I love that. I mean, I'm kind of sad we did not get his partner in crime, Ryan Stiles, to be in there with him, but
Oh,
he
he would have been good. He would have
would
been
have.
really good. The cast did have to be all Canadian, except for Stephen He, who is not Canadian. So maybe there would have been a way.
Gonna
But
say
you know what?
Stephen He did not know he wasn't Canadian.
Is not Canadian. He is Irish and Chinese.
Interesting.
He
Does
was
he have an Irish
born in
accent?
China. Hmm?
Does he have an Irish accent?
Yeah, well, it's really like faded at this point. It's like Irish American.
That's so dope.
If you talk to him, he sounds a little more like 10% more Irish than his character in the movie. I'm just sad that we didn't use him more for comedy, but it just wasn't written that way. Like what there was no way to really make that character be funny for organic reasons.
It's not really his character. I really enjoyed his character though, and I thought,
Me too.
being what he is in the movie is great, and I
I
overall
really
really
hope
enjoyed
that
it.
his fans see it because it's a side of him that they're never going to see from his own work. And everything he does, he creates himself, as far as I know. It's all from him. And he highlights exactly what he should highlight, which is him as a creator and him as a comedic talent. Um,
I
and
love
he's
that.
formidable. But I don't think, him being, there any number of people who've commented under the trailers already, emotional damage, it is inevitable. And I like responded to a few of those comments saying he's more emotional support in this movie, which I think is fair. So
Well,
I hope they watch it.
I will say they should check it out on July 22nd. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with before I let you go, Nicola?
Not really. I think that covers the whole thing, and just want to thank you for having me.
Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure. In the next couple months, we're busy with festival stuff, but if you want to come on the podcast, just let us know. It
Yeah.
is like 3 hours long, but you get to pick the topic. So, like last month, we did a director retrospect on Greg Araki for Pride Month.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This month we're doing because one of our writers he lives in Uruguay, and in July is Father's Day in Uruguay, so we're going to be
Oh,
doing
no way.
movie dads. The whole
Oh, that's
podcast is
awesome.
going to be movie dads. So now, thank you for being with us. We very, very much appreciate having you. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
Nicola
you.
Rose. Make
Glad
sure
you
to check
enjoyed.
out Magnetosphere next week when it comes out. For Film Snob Reviews, this has
Thank
been William, and we
you.
will see you next time.